seated. We're going to take some questions. Professor Wiesel, thank you very, very much. Let me also say, we're going to have lunch afterward. Judy lost her mother just a few weeks ago, and Judy, we hope that your mother's and her memories in turn a blessing to you, and that you and your family only have good tidings in the coming year, God willing, a year of life. And with that, because he sent me an email, a little message right now, David Berman, who I find one of the most interesting and challenging people in my life, drives me absolutely crazy with questions. Why don't you have the first question? You said we should have related questions.
Well, I thought so. I wasn't sure you were going to have questions.
Okay, we'll come right back to you.
Well, then first,
come back.
Do you want to do the cake first?
Oh, yeah, you want to do it?
Yeah, it's better. Just to sing out of it.
Okay. Well, you know that it's Professor, we will have the questions. We know it's Professor Wiesel's birthday in just a few days, 80th birthday. The Talmud says that 80 is a time of gvura, of strength. So you go from strength to strength, Professor Wiesel. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Elie. Happy birthday to you. There weren't 80 candles, but okay. Questions, please. Yes.
Here's the question. I think the concept of forgiveness is such a difficult question. I think for everybody at different levels. I think many people here might have personal issues in their relationships. Or, how do you get to forgive, and how does it manifest itself in being better for you and for mankind, for you? How do you get to forgive these people?
I don't. Because I'm afraid that if I do, it would be a diminishing process, memory. And I believe in memory. Our people survive because of its memory. But I don't believe that because of our memory, we should hate. No, I'm against hatred. Anger, yes. Anger can be creative, can be helpful in society. You are angry at injustice. You try to correct it. But no hatred. Hatred is something which it's not an option. Hatred is ugly. Look at the face of a hater. It is ugly. Because in hatred, both are wounded. Both the hater and the victim. So that is not an option. But to say that I forgive, I don't. Who am I to forgive? I can forgive this guy in the bus. But murder? No. In general, forgiveness is called, I think in legal language, is amnesty, right? Amnesty. Amnesty is also a problem because in some societies, amnesty commands you to purify your memory. That say you are no longer supposed to remind the aggressor, the perpetrator, of his deeds. That is real amnesty. Maybe in America it's not the same, but in amnesty, I know in Europe, you cannot, it's a sin. After, let's say, there was amnesty, general amnesty in Algeria. Anyone to remind the perpetrators of torture in Algeria goes to jail. On the other hand, what is possible? A kind of amnesty just to bring people together. It's not easy.
So related to that, when you look at your memories that you talk about, and what happened in the Holocaust, where the Jewish people are today, and what seems to be happening throughout Europe, France, against anti-Israel, anti-Jew, in America, what might happen? What are your thoughts on what's happening in the security of us Jewish people, the freedom we have, where we stand today, where we might stand 20, 30 years from now?
A few years ago, I addressed the General Assembly of the United Nations. And I gave the title to my lecture. I called it, Will the World Ever Learn? And I came to the conclusion that the answer is no. Had the world learned from our experience, there would have been no Rwanda and no Cambodia and no Bosnia and no Darfur, no anti-Semitism, no racism, no famine with a million children dying every year. Absolutely. So what do? What we can do simply is do our best to cling to our memory and say, I don't want my past to become anyone else's future. That is the lesson that they understand. Does it mean that they learn, therefore, to be more fair to Israel? Those who hate, hate. But I can say young people listen to us. Wherever I go, all over the world, young people listen to us better than their parents did. Which means the third generation is better than the second generation after the war. They want to love. Yes, Mike.
I know what you're saying about young people, but those young people who are Jewish and not Orthodox have largely abandoned Jewish ritual. The number of non-Orthodox Jews who show up at synagogues is very, very small. And I think continues to decrease as America becomes more integrated, etc., etc. And we struggle with this, and it's always difficult to say something definitively about the Jewish world. But one wonders even if the Holocaust will be impactful in another generation or two. Who really cares, for instance, about the Inquisition or other tragedies in Jewish history that have become ancient history now without the slightest emotional impact on living Jews? My question to you is, are you optimistic about the Jewish future?
I am very pessimistic with regard to the human condition in general. The human condition in general, for the world in general. But I am more optimistic about our people. Now, you did hear me speak about religion. I don't speak about religion. I believe that's why I refused to become a rabbi. I was offered ordination by one of the greatest scholars. I said, I don't want to be a rabbi. You forgive me.
That makes
But I don't speak. I speak about culture and memory. Memory transcends religion. And I believe that memory has an appeal to our youngsters. I don't know the statistics, how many. I can know one thing. Never before have there been so many courses on the Holocaust as there are now. Never before have there been so many chairs as there are now. Never before so many seminars as there are now. Programs on television, programs in the books. Never before. So, therefore, it means a commitment to our memory. So I am optimistic that religious considerations apart, I think our people will survive. I had one of my great teachers, and I remember, you are too young for you to remember, Michael, you remember, May 1967, 3 weeks before the Six-Day War, I was a correspondent at the UN, and I would hear day after day Arab speakers, including Ahmed Shukeri, he was then Arafat's predecessor, PLO chairman, simply saying we are going to destroy the Jewish state and finish no more Jewish problem, except for Arthur Goldberg, who was that UN ambassador. Nobody got up to say, what are you talking about? I then was afraid that Israel would lose the war and it would be the end of Israel. I admit